Advocates Indie Comics crowdfunding report. I'm joined by Travis and Chuck. We said hello on Facebook. If you want to see them say hello, by all means, go ahead. Chuck's only with us for about 20 minutes. So we're going to dive right in. And go ahead, Chuck, start reading it off.
All right, we got Bricks on the Cape. Bricks on the Cape, a Lego fan experience. This one's on Indiegogo?
Yes, Indiegogo.
And I saw a little bit about this one. Not an awful lot. It's doing great. What is this one exactly?
It's just a using Legos to try to encourage autism awareness and build up a community of autistic parents down here in Cape Coral, Florida, and also show the importance of parenting.
Good.
All right, we're going to move on to... Sounds like there's a fight going on.
No, that's just my my stepdaughter. She talks as loud as she possibly can.
Okay. All right, guys. We're going to jump on into our first video. Travis, tell them what it is.
I'm looking for it. Sorry, guys. I'm a little behind, so give me a second. Oh, The Lost Kids. Of course I know what that is. I don't need to look that one up. So here's the thing. So Lost Kids by Philippe. Philippe is amazing. The guy kills it on Kickstarter. So The Lost Boys is like a cross between Dungeons and Dragons, cross between Peter Pan, the 80s like Goonies movies, all that wrapped into one. This is a second part of a graphic novel that he put together. It's really, really cool. It's doing really well. But he's a little under what he wanted to reach, right? I think he wanted to reach a few more fans. So definitely want to check that one out on Kickstarter.
All right, let's watch the video. Come on, Facebook. Kickstarter. Play your damn video. There we go.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Felipe Caño. I'm a comic book creator, and this is the Kickstarter to fund the second part of The Lost Kids.
They've been lost.
Now it's mostly music. You guys can give your impressions while you're watching.
I wanted to jump on this the first time and I had no money, so now I gotta hope that I make some so that I can jump on the second time. It looks great.
I met this guy once, and I got to tell you, I was so impressed with just his work ethic, the way he does things. I purchased a couple of copies of The Curse and the Few, which is his other project. But this is really, really cool.
He's really good at what he does. He's a great guy, too. He's got a great amount of energy. He actually travels with all of his compadres.
Naomi, I'm on a podcast, so you got to be quiet, okay?
15 years. It started off as a film script back when I was in film school, and it always stuck with me. I never wanted to let this story go. Last year, with the help of over 750 backers, we were able to fund part one of the story, the first half, volume 1, and we did so with 2 different editions of the book, the regular softcover and the Kickstarter special hardcover edition. And I hope to do so again with volume 2. So I hope you'll enjoy this sneak peek animation into the characters, the worlds, the fantasy we've created. Scroll down on rewards, read all the information on the page, the preview pages that we have from the comics, and I hope you like it enough that you'll come back and turn this into something really special. Thank you so much, and have a good one.
Now, when people ask me about Kickstarter and why I'm not more impressed with Kickstarters, it's because of people like Philippe who show me 750 backers. Just imagine that.
Yeah, he's playing a different game. It's a completely different game than what we're playing.
Yeah, like everyone talks about like, oh, there are no pros, there's pro and there's indie. I'm like, bullshit, I know a lot of people in the indie comics who are doing better than some of the comic books out there that are from the mainstream. Speaking of someone doing good, the SFC, you know this a lot, Travis. You work with this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't work for SFC. I work for Evelzine. Yeah, I did a book with them. Yeah, absolutely. Especially this book. The Gentleman was my favorite pick of last year. I read it last year, not because of Lovecraft. If you watch Vampire the Masquerade, he looked like a character called La Sombra, the La Sombra vampires. Looks Sabat, looks like that. So I was like, I need to buy this La Sombra book. I was very sad it wasn't about Vampire the Masquerade, just about a crazy detective going through some Cthulhu stuff. But it is an amazing book. Greg did really good. They just funded last night, working on trying to get the $3,000. Great book.
And speaking of, you've been getting art from your book, Dog Days, haven't you?
Yeah. We've got some great art from it. I've been sharing some of it out on the various social media platforms, on the Dog Days, on the backer list. It is killer. Marcel, I'm not going to mix words. A lot of people, there was some controversy that happened with him last year. But I got to tell you, since I've been working with him, there's pages that were sent to me that I was like, these are great pages. Don't worry, don't change a thing. That Marcel looks like, no, I think you can do better. And he sent them back, and he was right. They are way better. Because Marcel, if you look at any Evelzine book, they are beautiful books because he does that extra work, does that extra line work. So say what you want about the guy makes sure his books are top-notch and top quality every time.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, that's what I say about him. I say how good he is. And Chuck, I think you know this one from just doing the show. Reaper's Rules. Didn't I see you talk about this at one point somewhere on social media?
I don't think so, man. This is the first time I'm seeing this one. It looks cool.
Well, it's Tim Gomez. Do you know Tim?
No.
Yeah, I don't. I've had 100 friend requests, seriously, in 48 hours. I don't even know where the people are coming from. But this is cool. I don't really know Tim that well. This is Reaper Rules. Travis, I know you have a Reaper story, so I know you're going to be watching this a little bit, examining how it competes with you.
I think these are more Assassin Reapers than Grim Reapers, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's find out by Hidden Play.
He's ripping you off there, bro.
I know, right away. Might have to call a lawyer. I think this is a video. This is new to me. I don't think this has been on our actual program yet.
Yeah.
Here we go. I was going to say, quickly watch everything to make sure. I could have sworn this had a commentary.
Hello, fellow Reapers. I'm Tim Gomez. I'm the writer for Reaper Rules and I guess everything else at Bloody Reaper Comics. Just wanted to say hi and let you know that we're looking forward to cranking out some great comics. Some great comic strips and some great stories and some great art. We have a lot of big plans. Season 1 is going to be absolutely fantastic. We have a big story arc planned. We just need funds to accomplish it. So with your help, we'd be able to do that. And looking forward to getting it out there for you guys. So thanks.
I gotta say what you want about the comic and about the guy and whatnot, but it takes balls to come out with your first comic and immediately give your fans a name. Like, he called us Reapers, and I'm like, your book hasn't even come out yet. Like, how are you already naming your fans?
Yeah, but the one thing I gotta say, and this isn't to pick on him, this is just an honest show, though. I didn't learn anything about the project from him. I just learned what he was doing. He was making a comic book. I kind of get that when you're on Kickstarter. I need more. Let's see if Dennis gave us more.
Of the Reaper Rules comics. I hope you enjoy the project.
Nope. We're not getting more. Apparently, they want the art to stand on its own.
Hello, fellow Reapers. My name is Joseph Cure. I'm the producer for Bloody Reaper Comics, and I really hope you back us on this new project, Reaper Rules. We worked really hard as a team. Tim, the writer, Dennis, the artist, and we really want to give you more of episode 2 and so on. So please help us print the comic and give it to you in your hands, and also allow us to give you any digital prints or any rewards. So please back us and help us get to our goal and even beyond that. I hope you enjoy the comic book, and I hope you enjoy all the other comics we come up with for you. Thank you, fellow Reapers.
Okay, again, does anyone know what this is about? I am still wondering what the hell this is about.
Yeah, but I trust that guy because he can afford a lot of mousse to slick back that hair. So I'm in.
No, but seriously, I didn't learn anything from this video. It didn't teach me any reason I should actually back this project. Did you guys get a reason? Other than they all think they're doing a great job, which is cool. I like the confidence, but I didn't hear why it's a good product. It'd be like if Coca-Cola showed up and was like, drink Cokes, it's good, bitches.
Yeah, well, yeah. For me, I have to be honest. It's kind of the bad side of Kickstarter, where you're making it feel like we're begging for money. That's not what we're here. We have a cool project. It looks like a cool project. Fucking sell me on it. Tell me why it's a cool project. Because honestly, the video did nothing for me.
Travis, wouldn't you say that there should be a moment where you're pitching to someone as if they showed up at your Comic-Con table?
Yeah. Obviously, you should do your elevator pitch. So you have 60 seconds at the beginning of this video to kind of tell them a little bit about it.
I made my video last night, and I just made a short little me video, just having some fun. And when I was going through it, I was like, what is Rob gonna rip me apart for? What do I have to make sure?
He knows it. Just wait till we get to Travis's video. I mean, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of my video this time, but I'm working on it. I actually paid for something to work on that, so next week it'll be a lot happier.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing, making a better one later.
If you only knew someone who actually could, I don't know, possibly have a good voice and narrate it for you, but I know you don't know anyone like that, Travis. It's okay. If you know anybody, let me know. This is Supersonic Pod Comics.
Moving on.
Hi, I'm J.S. Earls, and I want to invite you to a new project some friends and I are starting.
And I'm Ben Avery. JS and I love stories and storytelling. We've both worked in many different mediums for story, including comics, animation, novels, audio drama, podcasting, and even puppets. Whatever it takes to tell a good story.
Working with other comics, story, and audio professionals, Ben, Nathan James Norman, and I are creating a new superhero audio drama universe.
We're creating this in the spirit of monthly comic books from the big publishers. And we're also writing this in the spirit of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or other franchises where each series and chapter tells its own story, but they fit together in a larger narrative. We're doing it in an audio format, with each episode being delivered free weekly to your favorite podcast app.
Ben and I have been in the comic industry for almost 20 years. We love the comic work we've done and are doing, but in this audio format, we're able to avoid things like the printing costs, the difficulty of wide distribution, and many other obstacles.
Storytelling in this format allows us to use the greatest artists possible, their own imagination. Although in the future, if things go well, we do hope to tell some stories in the comic book format. But storytelling in this format allows us to use actors and sound design to paint the picture in your mind. In your mind.
To do this, we're recruiting a cast of new and established actors to populate the Supersonic Podcomics universe.
So, we're kickstarting this project to get the funds needed for actors and writers and engineers and sound and music elements and web and podcast hosting in order to create and provide consistent, high-quality superhero adventures.
This is where we need you. If you're a professional or amateur actor, we need your talent. We're writing and producing this series ourselves, and we want to gather vocal talent from across the country. Only voice acting talent and a good microphone are required. Email us at the address on the screen for the current list of roles you can audition for, and for more information about how you can be a part of the Supersonic Podcomics universe.
We can't wait to share some fun, unique, and inspiring superhero stories with you. So for now, we invite you to join us, actors.
All right, guys, chime in. What do you think?
Okay, so Wendy and I watched this video, I think earlier on in the news or whatever, and as an editor, you jump on the redundancies right away. So why are you selling me on, hey, we're trying to do something that's not comics because, paying for art and printing and stuff is so expensive, and then you tell me about all the other costs like production and voice work and all this stuff. Like, at the end of the day, you're making it sound like this is going to be even more expensive. So, I don't know. The story's not adding up. It was just something funny that we noticed.
Travis?
I don't know how I feel about it. I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts that aren't informational. When I listen to a podcast, I really want to be educated. So I don't really listen to any entertainment podcasts, and maybe that's my bad. I do listen to talk radio. But what concerns me about, even though this project looks fun, it doesn't look like you can be part of it, really, right? So they're looking for actors and adventures. So like podcasts, the positive of podcasts, right, is anybody can be involved in it. Anyone can be part of like a podcast. Like right now, we're all kind of doing a podcast kind of thing. It takes away that one cool element of podcasts. So that's my concern of it. It doesn't really get the fans involved, except for them just listening to these possibly really good stories that are in our minds.
Yeah. I feel like it's a throwback to those like 1930s and 1940s radio shows, but at no point did they mention any of that or really get into that. And that could have been a really cool thing to play with, and they didn't touch upon that at all, really.
Yeah, but as a backer, can you get value out of this? I guess, like Travis was saying, like, where's the incentive for you to back it at this point?
I'd be interested to see the reward tiers.
Actually, we can jump over and take a quick look.
Hold on, I got it open. I can read you. Special thanks is number one. You get a script book for $10. You get bonus content for $30. You get a printed script for $50, as well as all the other stuff that I just said. You get to be in it at $75. Your voice is in one of our episodes. For $100, you get all the scripts. That's it.
So I basically can read everything that they're going to play on the radio or pay to be part of it.
Correct.
Oh, I have to do that for my comic books. You can be part of my Kickstarter by paying for the art. You guys can now be the one to purchase art for me because I don't want to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if the selling point is there.
I don't know. It looks interesting though. I gotta admit, it's a new way to do it. I'm curious how it's gonna turn out. Honestly, I'm following it.
Well, and Wolverine. What was it called? Wolverine: The Long Night came out last year, and that did really well. That was a podcast, like audio drama, and that did really well. It just came into print as a comic book. So, I mean, it does have merit, and I did like that they said they may put it into comics. But if you're going to put it into comics, you probably shouldn't bash comics in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of sets me off. And when I watched the video, I literally had a 25-minute conversation before we'd cover this because they start off bashing comics, and it's like, why would you do that? Why would you bite the hand that feeds you? I'm sure that they're going to learn from that mistake, especially after watching this video, because I tag everyone.
And also, why weren't we told about the story? Like,
yes,
tell us something. We were given nothing about the story. Just we want to do this cool thing. Okay, well, go do it.
Yeah, we're super cool. Come follow us. No, I'm not that motivated. I'm really
Can
lazy.
we go back? Hold on. I just realized an irony that's not here. So one of their big pushes is print is really expensive, but all their reward tiers are printing out scripts for people.
At really expensive, but at more than we charge for a comic book. Like, you give me shit about charging $10 for my magazine size. They're doing $50 and they're not even giving art.
Well, what's crazy about that is, like, when we're raising money on Kickstarter to print comics, it's like, cool, I'm printing 500 or 1,000, and I'm giving out 100 to my backers. But you're creating something new in order to pay for something completely different.
Well,
you know, like, basically, we're making this podcast that's going to be free to access, but you can have these things that we're going to have to make because we did this Kickstarter.
But is it going to be free to access? I didn't get that impression that it was free to access.
I don't
Actually,
know.
you could be right. They said it was on free networks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then they're going to have advertisers. I don't know. I want to see how it turns out. One of the things I'm interested in is Sean ForneyÂ's Scarlet Huntress Adventure. He's a great guy. Let me play. I think there's music here we're not allowed to play. Hold on. But we can at least watch it and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Come on.
A little bit about Scarlet Huntress Adventures.
We're good.
It is our new Kickstarter. We're very excited to finally bring you another book. It's going to be 3 short stories. Scarlet Goes to Comic-Con, Scarlet versus the Gremlins, and Scarlet and the Amulet. Scarlet Goes to Comic-Con is about Scarlet winding up at Comic-Con thinking there's werewolves and what is she going to find, and it's fun and adventurous, and she may or may not find a real werewolf. And then Scarlet versus the Gremlins, she's going to be out in Dayton at Wright Pat Air Force Base, and she's going to find herself wound up with some other cryptids. And she thinks she's going to battle werewolves, and instead she finds these gremlins. Scarlet and the Amulet is about Scarlet finding some answers. We're picking up where Search for Answers left off, where Vincent left her the dagger and the note. And so she's trying to do a little history on this dagger and figure out where it came from. And she winds up in the middle of a theft ring that's tied to the werewolves. And she's got to not only fight her way out of it, but she's got to figure out what all this means. And that's where she finds the amulet. And we'll see where that takes her, because it could be a very exciting place. Scarlet Huntress Adventures is going to bring you at least 28 pages of full color comic. We're going to have multiple covers and multiple types of covers, so make sure you look at all the different reward packages. You find one that suits your needs. There's going to be 6x9 prints. There's some original art that we've got for sale that's never been for sale before, and those will come with color prints if there's one available. And then we're going to work our way hopefully towards some stretch goals. And the stretch goals are where we're going to bring in some of our friend artists, and they're doing some amazing work. We can't wait for you to see it. There's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. We'll keep releasing stuff every day during the Kickstarter. We're going to run it from March 21st at noon through April 29th. It's the day after Gem City Con. So stay with us, stay tuned, watch for those stretch goals. We've got stickers, bookmarks, trading cards, more pages, more art, more prints, more stuff coming at you. So thank you for following us for the last 15 years. We're very excited to bring you another Scarlet Huntress book in the series, and we hope you back Scarlet Huntress Adventures. Thanks.
All right, guys. Before I let you guys go and talk about what you thought, the one critique I have here is that they didn't tell me who Scarlet was. So if I was a new fan, I didn't learn anything today. They kind of make it so they're expecting me to have already been a fan. That's the one misstep I saw. Plus, I don't like watching people draw, but that's a personal thing. I wouldn't have put that on. Otherwise, I think it was a pretty solid video. What do you guys think?
So Scarlet's been around for years, so I mean, it's good to see her back. I like the video. I like what they're trying to say. I wish it wasn't in black and white because it's a beautiful book. But that's about it, man. Like, there's nothing I can say bad. Good production value, good everything. Like, I'm good for that book.
Yeah, I like it too. I think you touched on something, Rob. They did need to explain who Scarlet is, because I don't know who she is. Not a fan of the idea of black and white, because the character is literally a color. She's the Scarlet Huntress. Why are you doing it in black and white? Like, that choice doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like if you have a Scarlet or a Green Arrow or anything, those characters should have color. So that's me. That's my thought. They can do with it as they wish. But yeah, man, it looks cool. At least they explained the story. They went through a lot of it. They explained the rewards. I think they did pretty good there.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to Jungle Queen Sheva. Jungle Girl meets supernatural threats.
Cheesecake time.
I don't know if it's necessarily cheesecake. The one thing I will say, the first time I watched this, I was a little surprised about there being this white girl in Africa. And apparently this is a pre-established character, someone told me.
Hi there,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
Rick.
been around for a long time.
I'm from Boom Art Department, my art agency. Via my art agency, I met a Portuguese artist nicknamed Zu, Elusu Gouveia, which this artist amazed me. He has such an amazing art style, and his ideas, just the things he has done in the past for himself is it was just amazing. The fact that I was so impressed, the fact that I'm still so impressed is the reason that I'm today here helping him to create his own library with his comics now in print. So we are going to start out with Sheva. Sheva is a girl who tries to survive in the African Valley of Shadows, which is a magical place where she protects the valley from evil sorcerers, mythical creatures, lost warriors, and even remnants of forgotten civilizations. So this is the first, I hope, of many more comics. Like Wonder Warrior, the horror comic.
All right, we're just gonna stop here because I know Chuck's got to get on, and that goes into a little bit about the future projects. I want to talk about this project. What do you guys think? Because I didn't know about Sheva. I didn't realize there was a female Tarzan.
I've heard about it. I've seen it around in a fair amount of the groups and whatnot. I don't know. The video, honestly, his English was fairly broken, so I might. And that's not an attack on him, but it made it in some points hard to understand and to keep up with. So maybe we needed like someone else to head it up, or it needed to be better rehearsed or written down or something. But it looked pretty cool.
All right, Travis, save us from the guy from Texas who has a problem with the immigrant.
Well, first, I find it really offensive that you started out there's a white girl and there's a white Tarzan-like girl in Africa. Tarzan's white, if you didn't know.
Actually, I thought he wasn't. I thought the original character was never intended to be a white guy. He was intended to be English, and it was potentially he was supposed to be Pakistani, if I remember correctly, my history. The original writing of the story, he was because in England there are Pakistanis who mix in. So I thought he was actually supposed to be Pakistani, which explained the longer hair, and he actually had darker skin color to kind of go against Jungle Book. And it was modern media that turned him into a white guy.
I don't know. We'll need to discuss this further.
Travis is embarrassed that there's so much.
Oh, I'm definitely not embarrassed. I just don't know the answer, so I cannot back that up one way or the other. But Tarzan from Disney, which is what anybody cares about. If it's a Disney movie, that's the correct continuity. It doesn't matter what came first.
Disney bought history and changed it, right?
Anyway, you would make me right.
That sounds like something Disney would do.
It's not my kind of book, but I'm glad that the character has new legs and that someone's going on Kickstarter to bring it out because people love those characters.
And, and credit.
So that's what I gotta say about it.
And credit to the reason I brought up it was a white girl. It's this white blonde girl. You don't expect that in a book that's Africa, right? Especially after Black Panther and all that. I just was like, why is there this blonde girl there? And then I was talking to someone else about it, and they were like, "Hey, dude, you ever hear of South Africa?" And I was like, yeah, but I thought they moved out. I thought they all left after the apartheid ended. He's like, no, you need to learn more about Africa then. So that's on me. I might not fully understand the dynamics of Africa.
Well, I mean, it's because Africa was, especially the Dutch, actually, came into Africa and took over as much of that property as possible.
Yes, yeah, I didn't know. We don't get taught a lot of that in school, I guess, African history. And maybe we should. I know there's a lot of horrible things going on. I'm not going to get into it, but I know that Africa's had a lot of problems recently with farmers. Like, people are getting killed. And
there's lots of white people in Africa. I think that's what you're trying to say. There is a lot of white people in Africa.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, and so just wanted to make it clear that it was my misconception. And talking to someone about it, they're like, "No, dude, there's more than you expect." So you learn something all the time doing Kickstarters, and I'm paying attention to them. Like the Handyman. If you need someone killed, call the Handyman. This is on Indiegogo. It is from. I don't know who it's from because he's actually not a friend of mine, but he was suggested. It's stopping the bloodthirsty Castaneda Cartel. There's no video for us to watch, so we're just giving it a mention, and we're going to move on.
Oh, yeah, no, I can talk about it. So it's with Brad Ashworth is the artist.
Cool.
He does the artist. It's a black and white book. And Carpenter, Tyler Carpenter, he's got a YouTube channel. He does the writing for it.
Really?
On Indiegogo. I think they're trying to raise $4,000, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe $5,000. Really good. What's cool about it too is the creator of Earthworm Jim said that if they don't reach their goal, he's going to pay for the rest.
Wow!
All right, isn't that cool?
I would stop trying. I would just be like, I win.
Right. So the Handyman is basically John Wick with just carpenter tools.
That would be kind of badass. I know that Chuck doesn't like it because it's black and white, so we'll just move on. And not let Chuck say anything, because Chuck's rude.
Wait, I have a black and white book.
Yeah, no one cares. The Threat, issue 5. comes on the show to pitch his own book. How rude.
That's the only reason we do this.
And Travis will be doing his book in 1 minute, like 2 minutes. All right, I don't know if this is actually copyright material, so we're not going to chance it. There he goes.
And I am the owner of Stratum Comics. Wanted to tell you a little bit about The Threat. It's a series created by myself and Floyd Shooter. We've successfully gotten 4 issues out and live, ready for you to read. We're currently working on the 5th, which is what this Kickstarter campaign is for. I can tell you a little bit about the story. It's based in Houston, Texas in the year 2035. The human genetic makeup has degraded to such a point where even the smallest illness is killing people by the thousands. Get a cold one day, think you're fine, you're dead the next day. We're also dealing with a very low level of basic natural resources, which is causing governments to wage war against each other for those resources. All of this combined is causing the governments around the world to collapse from financial issues. They're relinquishing cities to corporations all over the world. Corporatocracy has become the prevailing government around the world. One man had the foresight to look into the issue with the human genetic makeup. He was able to find a way to reboot the human DNA and allow our bodies to heal themselves. Unfortunately, in a certain amount of people, this actually caused too much stress on the body and they died immediately. In others, they survived, only in pain and agony for months or even years. In a few people, this caused normal mutations that you might see nowadays, humpbacks, things of that nature, and they just became outcasts. In a very small percentage of the population, the human DNA was actually merged with that of other life forms or remnant DNA left over in our systems from our past. These people began to show attributes and abilities beyond that previously known to mankind. Unfortunately for all of these people, it was thought that a virus was causing their issues, and they became known as virals. We'd love to be able to continue bringing you these great stories, but we need your support for that. There are a lot of costs associated with making comics. We've got to pay artists, we've got to pay the printers.
Let me ask you guys, I'm going to stop right here. Nothing against him, but do you guys ever bring up how expensive it is to make a comic book? In the Kickstarter videos? I don't think I've ever mentioned that.
Not on the Kickstarter, but like I've let people to know, but it's normally at a con table and they're like, why does it cost $5?
Like, I have no problem with what he's saying. We're going to move on at this point because he goes into some of the rewards and stuff like that. I like the project. I just wish you would speak faster, but that's my ADHD kicking in. What do you guys think? Chuck has muted himself. I think he thinks we can hear him, but Chuck muted himself so we can't hear him. So, oh, there he goes.
So he does kind of drone a little bit. Like, he kind of feels like he's going on, and it's like, all right.
I feel like we're Family Guy, and now you're our weather guy out in the street as you're driving around because there's wipers going off in the background. How's the weather?
It's going to rain!
Back to the show. This is Parallel. Now, this is a long video, and I'll be honest, it's two guys kind of talking, and I don't know what to do with it. Like, to play it, because it's 4 minutes and 54 seconds. So that's a little bit of time. So I'm just going to quickly go through it. You guys should watch the video on your own stuff. It is a good video, but it's more of a conversation between two guys than it is a pitch. And considering this is a pitch show, we're gonna move on because they still have time, because I know Chuck's got some places to be today, so we're gonna try to fasten it up a little bit so he can be in for as much as he can. But definitely check out that video. It's really good, but I don't think you should have an interview video to be your main video. I just think that you're gonna lose interest of people. If you can't capture someone in the first 20 seconds, you've potentially lost them. And that was, you guys remember, that was something I was tracking with the Advocator. We had an excellent score. What was it, 70% of the time I think we ended it, that people watched the whole videos that we were doing?
Yeah.
Which was unheard of from everyone I asked. And when I asked, no one would say it publicly, but when I asked privately, most people were in the 40%. So Shorter is better, guys. Shorter is better. And speaking of a better video, this one is really good video, actually. Credit to Leah. Come on, play. There we go.
Hi, I'm Leah Letterman, and I want to tell you about Cafe Macabre, a collection of horror stories and art by women. This whole project is really a crime of opportunity. I'm a freelance editor, and as such, I have access to some really great writing minds. The inspiration for this came late at night. I was letting my dog out after I had just spent several hours editing horror stories by a couple of different authors. And, I'm editing them, which means I was elbow deep in those stories, and I'm coming up with bloodied nouns and verbs, and I was terrified because I was hearing the different characters from the different stories by the different writers in my head, and they were kind of talking to each other. And I thought, that's it. I knew I needed to gather those voices together in the same book and hear them talk to each other. And I wanted women's voices because, well, there's just not enough women in my life, and I like to hear what women have to say. It's worth listening to. This book is special because each story is accompanied by a piece of art from a female artist, specifically tailored for that story. And the result is horrific bliss. The stories and art all speak to each other, and it's like you're overhearing conversations in a smoky cafe or a really great party. I'm running Kickstarter to help me get this collection out to the printer and off the ground, and I'm extending you an invitation to my horror cafe. Each tier gets you a copy of the book and the artwork. Some tiers give you a chance to own originals or even help out with bonus stories. I want this to spread far and wide. I want you to look over your shoulder the next time you're alone and wonder whose voice it is you're hearing. It's all of us.
All right, guys, what do you think? Chuck, unmute yourself. I muted you this time because I didn't want to hear car sounds. So unmute yourself. All right, so what do you think, Chuck? Yeah, what do you think, Chuck?
Well, Wendy and I really liked it a lot. That was a solid video, man. She spoke, she explained everything. We were given some rewards. We were given the whys and all that kind of stuff. And she looked great. So I think all in all, that was a solid video.
What do you think, Travis?
When I first watched the video, this isn't the first time I saw it, I was like, you know what? It's kind of a weird thing. I don't like trying to find a niche that isn't necessary. But what I liked about it when I watched it the second time, her reasons behind it, she was already working with all these people and just asked them to submit some extra stuff, kind of as a fun project for her. I really like that vibe. So it wasn't meant to be like just to empower women. It just she happened to be working with a lot of women, so she asked a few more to come alongside. So I really like that. I really like that. I never like hitting a niche market like that, but I think she did it very tastefully and very exclusively.
And did you guys hear she got picked up by Source Point Press?
Yep.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, actually, this is going to be a Source Point Press project now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think she nailed it. I wanted to back it before half the video was done. That's how you know someone has done their video right, because you already want to back it, but you're watching it now to find out more, not to be convinced. And I think she did a great job of being able to cross that threshold in the beginning, or if not the middle of the video. Speaking of someone who knows how to make a video, and this is just going to be metal music, so I'm going to mute it, which is sad because I like it. And this is actually from, we know this guy really well, me and Travis. This is from our good friend Matt Knowles, and this is Tales from Nocturnia. We can talk over it because, like I said, it actually is just music the whole time. What are you guys' impression of this? I know both of you know it.
So I don't know it that well, actually. So you guys go ahead. I'm going to watch it, and I'll give you my first impressions.
Cool. Go for it.
So I like the book. I like the trailer. The only negative I have with Matt's stuff is if you do not watch this trailer, you really don't know what the book is about. If you scroll down, because there's a lot of visuals in this Kickstarter. But I do like this Kingdom at War, this kind of Game of Thrones politics, and putting it in the comic form. It's super cool. I really dig it. I was an early backer. I think I'm backer number 4 or 2. I'm super early because I love Matt. I love what he does, and I love his stuff. That's my cadence.
Well, the music I think is really cool, and the fact that he did the music is so super badass. You know, what do you think, Chuck? What do you got for us?
I'm a metalhead and I'm a fantasy guy. This is right up my alley. Not getting an awful lot of story necessary. It just looks like it's coming up now, but the visuals are really cool. Yeah, man, it looks like it's right down my alley.
Yeah, the one thing I was surprised about, Matt is actually, like, I tease him and pick on him, but he really can carry a conversation. I was really surprised he didn't go front and center with this, and like Travis said, there's such a deep story with this. This is actually a spin-off of his other brand, and it's really cool, and you guys should definitely check out the Kickstarter. This I've only seen once, so let me check to make sure it's not music. No, it's not. Okay, cool. So here we go. Let's check this out. I don't think I've watched this video, honestly. So let's see what's going on.
A lot of our readers from the North Star graphic novel wanted to know more about Slash and North Star's history, so we created a 4-issue series to feed your curiosity. This is the Kickstarter for issue 1.
Alright. I'm not sure that intro did anything for me. Other than introduce herself. Did you guys catch anything on that? Oh, here we go.
North Star issue 1 is a fully coloured 20-page comic where rival mercenaries North Star and Slash butt heads for the first time. If you haven't read the first book, it's not a problem. You can start with this one and it won't ruin any of the story for you. My co-writer Bob Getty and I wanted to create a story that wasn't as clean-cut as the traditional good versus bad. We were more interested in messed-up characters and how they'd interact in certain situations. Does someone who enjoys murder have the capacity to be good? Can they work with others? North Star loves her work as a mercenary. She enjoys a life where you don't have to settle down, and most of the people she works with she ends up killing. This means she struggles to interact normally with other people, so when Slash turns up, it's not your average interaction. There's a lot of hostility, and North Star doesn't take it very seriously. Slash, however, is much more serious. He likes to get the job done, and the job done right, with as little mess as possible.
Alright, guys. Impressions. What do you got? Travis?
I like Mandy Savage. That's her name. And that's what I love about it. It's named by somebody named Mandy Savage. I mean, that's a cool name, right?
Yeah.
But the Kickstarter needed to tell me a little bit more about the book. Especially, you didn't show it, but the page doesn't really have much. It has a couple of pages of art. And in fact, a lot of pages of art, like about 10 pages of art, but it doesn't, I don't really know what I'm getting or how to get it. It's super affordable too, which is also scary, right? So you can pledge for the print copy and ship it America for $6. How can you make any money that way?
She's got to be coming out of America. A lot of the foreign people I know, they actually print out of America too. They do too.
Right, but even at $6, like print and shipped for $6.
I agree with you. I don't know. Is it a full color comic?
It looks like it.
Okay. All right. Chuck, I'd ask your opinion, but I know she had a British accent, so you're from Texas. You probably hate it every minute.
No, you know what? Honestly, in this case, I actually really very much agree with Travis. I feel like we didn't get enough information, and it looks cool, and I'm interested in learning more, but they definitely needed to tell us more.
Well, there is more to the video. There's another whole minute, and she does go more over the story. The reason I stopped here is we're going to watch it now because I want your second impression after this. But I almost feel like most people would have clicked off by now. Would you both agree that you would have clicked off by now and been like, this is for me or not for me by 1:31 in?
Sure.
Yeah, I think 1.5 minutes, you should have already made your choice. And I'll be honest, I probably would have passed.
All right, so let's see what happens when we sit through the entire video.
He's efficient, deadly, but there's a softer, tortured side to him, and that plays a big part in breaking down North Star's barriers. The North Star series is about exploring what being a hero really means. Can you be redeemed if your main hobby is murder? And can unlikely friendships be formed? The artwork is by the incredible Amrit Birdie and his team at Amco Illustration Studio. They worked on the graphic novel with us, and we couldn't wait to work with them again for the issues. Check out the tiers below. We've got something to suit everyone, and if we reach our goal of 2,600, we've got some stretch goal targets, which are also listed below. Thank you, everyone, and we hope you join us on your first journey.
And there goes that music that's too loud and washes out the person. So would the rest of it have convinced you to maybe give it a bigger look, scroll down?
It looked good. I would. I'm still not sold. I would go over the Facebook page or the Kickstarter page a little bit, but I'm not even sure if I'd go that far, to be honest. Like I said, the art looks good, things look good, but I just wasn't sold enough on it.
You know, the perfect pitch she could have gone with this, and I think it's a shame she missed it, was imagine Mr. and Mr. Smith, before they got married, found out that they were both spies. And then, you know, right there, I don't think she brought it home, and it's a shame because it looks good, right? It does look like a high-quality book, you know? And that's why I stressed to people.
Yeah, it looks good.
What do you think, Travis? This would be something that would hit your radar, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting book. But like I said, I don't know a lot about it. I saw a lot of character profiles, which it makes me imply that the book may not be done. So those are things that are concerns for me. Even though when you go to the page, there's 10 pages, so you do get an idea that the book is done. But I don't think she did a good job of presenting that to us.
All right, well, let's check out the Ballad of Dusty Tortillas. Oh, this has got music. So this is an Indiegogo. It's got music. The whole time it's just music. And the problem with just music things is that a lot of times I lose interest instantly. Because now, what am I going to watch your video, right? I'll just read your Kickstarter stuff because I want information. Does any of this art strike you guys as telling a story that you understand? As you're watching it?
Yeah, it's a Western. It looks like a traditional Western art.
Yeah, but are you drawn in by it? Like, has any of this actually captured you without any words?
Oh, no, but...
Yeah, see, it's just still music. And
the name, too, Dusty Tortillas, it doesn't necessarily tell me anything yet. I know some of the guys behind it, Nick Garber, and I'd like to be able to check it out myself and see what it is, but so far what I'm seeing, it hasn't told me anything yet.
And it's funny because Nick Garber does an amazing amount of videos. He has awesome videos. I'm not sure what happened on this one, to be honest with you. Because I kind of feel like I've seen this before. Why is it interesting, you know? Like, everyone wants to do these spaghetti westerns nowadays, but why was that one interesting? And if you go to the project, you do see something more interesting, and it's worth looking at. And this is just more of a lesson to everyone. Draw someone's attention in by not just showing your panel art. Give it a moment, you know? Some emotion in the page. Like this. This has got a great cover, actually. And you guys know this one really well, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's got a great cover. Just that art imagery, doesn't it make you want to see more?
Oh, sold. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, let's check out the video. And this is Grimwood Crossings Omnibus, which I guess is a fancy way to say a graphic novel.
No, well,
it's a collection of several graphic novels.
This is my 4th time making a Kickstarter video, and it hasn't gotten any easier.
As we're judging him. I'm definitely tagging
Hey guys, my name's Connor Bartel, and with the help of my artistic collaborator, Agan Ilhan, this is our 4th Kickstarter project. Grimwood Crossing is the product of 2 Kickstarter projects where we funded Volume 1 and Volume 2. Now we're back to put Volume 1 and Volume 2 together in one edition. The 22 pages of new Grimwood Crossing story, a bestiary written by Bobby himself, a journal written by the sheriff while he was an apprentice, so you get some insight into his education. Overall, all these new stories and extras really continues Bobby's education towards being the sheriff. If you already read Grimwood Crossing, this is a good chance to pick up new stories and features, get a little bit more content for you. If you've never read Grimwood Crossing before, this is the perfect time to pick it up because it's the entire series in one book, and it's the only time you're ever going to get this. We also have extras like art prints, custom commissions. You can buy a printout of the Grimwood Crossing map, and if you've already pledged Grimwood Crossing before, you get the printout of the map for free with a physical purchase. That's just our special thanks to you guys for being with us since the beginning. Agan and I have been toiling away at this project since 2015, I think. Wow, that's longer than I thought it was. But we're so excited to finally bring this entire series to a conclusion. This is what we've been working towards the whole time. getting the entire story in one big book. Plus, we were able to take the stories to places we didn't even think we were going to be able to with these new stories. 22 pages of new content. That's a whole issue's worth of new content. Well, anyway, thanks for checking out the campaign. We really hope you guys are interested in what we have to offer here. And we also just want to thank everyone that's been with us since the beginning. If you're new to Grimwood Crossing, I hope you enjoy it. If you're returning to Grimwood Crossing, I really hope you guys like the new stories.
All right, I got to say, he's either very hyperactive and has ADHD, or he is high as fuck. There is no in between there. Because he did not stop at all.
No comment, but he lives in Alaska and there's not a lot of things to do there.
Are you trying to say he's on meth? That's not
No,
nice.
I'm just saying, no comment. But there's not a lot to do. Yeah.
Chuck, he's like going to be your future son-in-law or something, right? Like, what do you think about Connor's video?
I've worked with Connor. Connor and I we're good buddies. We talked a lot. I haven't read a lot of Grimwood because I wanted to get the omnibus, and we actually I'm a backer. Wendy and I are getting the full omnibus. So all I've read is actually the short that was in the Advocator, and it was badass. It sold me on the whole book.
I was about to say.
I like the idea. I think it's going to be cool.
You're always nervous when you hear the editor of your project go, I really haven't read it. And meanwhile, there was something there. I'm so glad you actually said you read it. I was like, oh, no. He didn't read it because he wanted to be a fanboy. Oh.
I've edited other things of his, but not this. But yes, we did edit. I did go through Advocator, and that piece was really good. It really did sell me on the world and everything. And for him to be able to do that in 4 pages is insane.
All right, so we got something else for you. This video I actually like, and I want to know your guys' opinion on it. Go ahead and mute yourself, Weatherman.
The year is 1914. Dorothy Gale has spent the last 10 years in a mental hospital, undergoing extensive therapy and reconditioning to convince her that there is no land of Oz. She has now returned to a normal life until one night she is confronted by the zombie Winky Guard, led by Nico, the king of the flying primates. Just when all seems lost, 3 old friends arrive to aid young Dorothy. Hi, I'm Eric Hawkins, creator of the Zombiful World of Oz, a steampunk fantasy horror adventure story. The comic is complete. I am just looking to share my story with fans of all things Oz. With your help, I'll be able to get the Zombiful World of Oz printed and shared with the world. I'm offering several contributor levels that include variant covers, special editions, sketches, prints, bookmarks, and more. I hope you find something about this project that interests you. This is just the beginning to a much larger world. Won't you return with me to the Zombiful World of Oz? Thank you for considering backing this project.
All right, what do you guys think?
Where the fuck is Toto?
Dude, it's 10 years later. Do I got to explain this to you?
Get a new dog. Call it Toto. Come on, man.
Why are you spoiling the ending? Toto's come back as a zombie.
Damn it. I suck.
No, seriously, what do you think?
I think it looks badass. There's all of a sudden, every once in a while, like, Oz just comes flying back, and everybody needs to do something Oz. So, of course, we have this, and then we have Ruby from the planet Oz. And what's great is they're both distinctly different takes. And I love that people are doing that they're really playing with different styles and whatnot. I think it looks badass.
What's Ruby?
That's Kyron's book.
I don't know. Remember, I've been sick and I took last week off. No one tagged me in anything. If you don't tag me in something, it doesn't make the show. So
I can't believe he didn't do that. Ruby from the planet Oz, man. I'll tag it on there. It's really good, man.
But why is it different? Now you brought it up. How's it different? What's Ruby's take?
So Ruby from the planet Oz is the idea that she's actually Dorothy has been kidnapped from her home planet, and she's on a different planet. And now the Wicked Witches are basically trying to take over the galaxy. And so it's basically like a space opera mixed with Wizard of Oz.
I hate when witches don't stay in their lane.
Witches, please.
So what you're saying, it's basically Wicked the Musical crossed with Meatloaf in Star Wars.
And Rocky Horror Picture. I get a Rocky Horror. I have like a very Rocky Horror Picture on that one. I
think everything you imagine has a Rocky Horror Picture feel to it, Mr. FB.
No. I actually don't like Rocky Horror Picture. I know a lot of people are surprised about that. I didn't like that film.
Oh, wow.
I understand its importance. I just didn't like it. I was very bored by it. The only thing I liked was Tim Curry's part. He was hysterical. You have to love what he does. I'll watch that just for him. The rest of them, like Susan Sarandon, nails every movie she's in but that one. She was just, I don't know what happened, man. I was disappointed. What do you think, Travis, of this Kickstarter? Not a Rocky Horror Picture.
So if you want to talk about Rocky Horror for a minute, would you like to hear I have one phobia, and for some reason, cross-dressers who are like extra feminine, like active, really freak me out. I don't know why.
Chuck, you know what we have to do at MegaCon now, right?
Girl, we are gonna have some.
It is a problem. I like Rocky Horror. I appreciate the music. I love Meatloaf, but there's just something about it that freaks me out. It's not about. There's something that's just I don't know.
I know what he's getting for Christmas. Every Rocky Horror Picture thing I can find from here to New York City and Baltimore. Poster after poster.
I'm going to wear the Dr. Frankenfurter outfit.
You don't tell us things like that. It's only going to be
It's
bad
the only way you can outsell me.
Oh.
Bring it.
Look,
Bring it.
No. For a guy with one book, he does surprisingly well. I've got to give Travis credit. Travis knows how to actually sell one book 15 different ways. Credit to him.
Knee covers. Holy shit.
He's like, but if you like this one, you'll love the next cover.
I just pretended several books, and it's fine.
But if you can pitch them 7 different ways, eventually you'll get a win. Oh, if you didn't like that, we have this one where someone doesn't like working for their boss. Don't you hate working for your boss? These guys do. All right, this is Savage Sasquant. I don't know why this messes me up all the time. I don't know why Sasquant. I want to do dirty jokes about it every time I see it. I don't know if the creator understands what squant is, but it could be dirty. It could definitely be dirty. Let's see why it's savage.
Is this the video?
I don't know. I'm hoping it gets there. It's cool. I sound like I'm in the car with you guys, so I'm like banging in my head like I'm moving with you guys. Feeling the car. Oh, here we go. All right, it's a bunch of music. I do think we see a creator talk in this, though, at a point. There we go. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get to him. He's actually fun.
I'm here to present to you Savage Sasquatch #1, the first issue in a 6-issue miniseries. It's an over-the-top action-adventure sci-fi story about Bigfoot in space. The legendary Sasquatch is no longer trudging his way through the Appalachian Forest and finds himself way over his head and completely out of place. If he's to survive, he must come to grips with his new situation and his wildly alien surroundings, liken it to Buck Rogers meets Big Trouble in Little China. You may be wondering, who's this guy? And can I trust him to complete this awesome comic? Great news! Issue 1 is 100% complete and ready to ship to the printer. As for me, for more than 15 years I have worked as an award-winning colorist for every major publisher and have helped put your favorite comic issues on shelves each and every month. In that time, I have also worked as a small press and independent comic creator, writer, and editor, and have produced a number of titles over the years. I've come to Kickstarter to ask you for your help in funding a large print run of issue #1. This book has been many, many years in the making, and you can help make it an actual reality. Oh, did I mention issue 1 is completely finished? And would you also like to know that issues 2 through 6 of Volume 1 have been penciled and inked as well? And as soon as the campaign is over and successful, production will be completed on the following issues. This series is happening, and with your help, I can get this great comic in the hands of people all over the world, and you can get some pretty sweet swag too when you pre-order it. Thank you for checking out my comic, and thank you for your pledge and support. Don't forget, share the campaign with all your friends and followers.
Isn't that adorable?
My daddy's comic book. You're right. I haven't used my child my newborn to exploit why they should buy a comic.
Well, I don't think you have the right book for
you
it.
should do it.
I don't think you have the right book for it. I don't think you want to put a baby in a book full of F words. I'm just saying.
Baby.
Although he is cute, so you might
Well,
actually.
I mean, what kind of? I mean, it's still early enough, right? What kind of pledge reward do you think we get for naming the baby?
Now, my first question and my only question is: do you think they're going to run into Ruby now? They're in space. Is it possible? Could they be running into Ruby?
It's possible. Look, I'll tell you something. I actually know this book really well. I was at Celebrity Fan Fest, and my table was right across from his in November. And so we traded books, and I got to read this. And honestly, it sat on my shelves for a while. I was like, the Sasquatch in space? I don't know, but guys, it is a fucking fun book. Like, it's funny. It's entertaining. The story is solid. It's a really good book, guys. Seriously. If you haven't jumped on, I would. I jumped on just for the minimum just because I own the book. But I wanted people to see that I had jumped on so that they would do the same. Man, honestly, man, a lot of fun. Really good book. It's worth the money.
Travis, impressions, thoughts?
I'm a backer. It's a good book. Like, I can't say anything negative about it. Like, it looks fun. The art's fun. Like, everything about it is super fun. So I'm all about it.
All right, well, get your quant today. We're gonna move on. And we're gonna check out.
Before we do, I gotta bolt. I gotta head off to trivia now.
Fine, go answer stupid nerd questions.
And win money. Thank you. Have a good one, boys. And everybody, peace, love, and comics.
All right, now the show can get classy as Chuck leaves. Oh, he's still here. Oh, how embarrassing. This is Conception, full color comic horror. Come on, play, monkey. There we go. Now, the music for this one, too, you'll like it. He actually wrote it. He's in a band.
Oh.
This is the artist from my first anti-bullying piece that we were talking about the other day. All right, Travis, what do you think?
I like the music.
Fair enough.
I wasn't inspired. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't inspired to really dig into that book.
But would you at least look at the Kickstarter based on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd give it a quick gander, but like I wasn't blown away with what I saw. But I mean, the art's good and it's got everything it needs to do. It's just I didn't learn anything about the book really in that little trailer. Did you think you did?
I know about it. You know when you know about something, it's harder to not see it because now you understand it. You've looked at it because he's a friend. the minute you know something about a book, it's harder. I really like the music though. The music would make me as a fan, like if you can get original music and you made the music, that impresses me. So now I'm already a fan of yours and I'm already backing it. I think I'm a backer. I gotta look, make sure I did back it. I'm pretty sure I did though. But this is Nomad. This is something that looks interesting. I thought you might actually like this. Son of Anarchy meets Mad Max in a book form. So this is kind of interesting if it ever plays. Here we go. I'm just going to turn it down a little because I don't remember if there's an actual...
Hi guys, my name's Bill, and I'm the writer and creator of The Nomad. I've been working on some indie comic books for a few years now, trying to get a couple titles off the ground. So far, I've funded them all out of my pocket, including most of this book. But as much as my wife supports my hobby, she says that if I spend a significant amount of money on any more comic books, there's going to be trouble. So hopefully that's where you guys come in. Stan, Robert, and I have been working on The Nomad for a few years now, off and on. It's been a passion project of ours, and we finally have enough to show you in hopes that you'll support the project. And we hope that after seeing this presentation, you fall in love with the world of The Nomad just as much as we have. Thank you.
All right, so Travis, I had to mute you for a second. I was getting feedback. I don't know if it was you or me, but it stopped when I did it. So just unmute yourself and tell me what you think.
Yeah, no, I like this book. I love the art. I love the art style. I love the graphics of it. There's nothing I can say bad about this book. You know, I think I may even have backed it. I'm not sure, but no, I love this book. I love that crazy head doll thing. Like everything about this book is super cool.
I think he did a really good job with the video. He let us know who he was. He was kind of funny but serious about his wife not letting him spend any more money. So I kind of resonated with that. I loved it.
Right.
He didn't talk about how expensive comics were. He talked about how he put his own money in the game, but he can't do it as much anymore because he's getting in trouble with the missus. This is new to me. Do you know anything about the Oswald Chronicles?
Nope, never heard of it.
Let's find out together. I've never even watched it, so we might have to pull this quick if it's got music. We're not allowed to have. I instantly get a Super Mario Brothers vibe. I feel like I'm watching like an old like 80s, 90s, early 90s video game.
Sure, you don't mean Zelda?
Yeah. Well, at first, because there was that little Toad guy, but now it does look more like Zelda. See that the low res scan there? That's a bad choice. Looks cool though. I mean, I'm interested, but I don't know if I understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's definitely not my cup of tea. I don't like fantasy stuff, really. Like, it takes a really... You have to be really, really good to get me into a fantasy book. Even our friend, you know, like Martha Seedseeker, I bought her stuff, but as a friend, I've told her, like, it's not my thing, you know. I don't know what it is about that stuff. I don't really like the fantasy stuff.
And you're a role player, too, so that's weird. Usually role players like the fantasy stuff, don't they? Isn't that like a hand-in-hand thing?
Yeah, but I tend not to play Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, I am right now, but it tends not to be my favorite genre. I like Werewolf the Apocalypse and Vampire. Like, I like those things. And Shadowrun.
I'm surprised you don't do Cyberpunk more. That'd be right up your alley.
Yeah, no, I like that stuff.
Sean Morrison. We know Sean Morrison.
We do.
This is Beast King 1 through 3.
His name is Shane Morrison. I even know him better than you.
Apparently. I only know him as Sean. Oh. I don't think we can play this because of that music. Okay, I was going to say, I promised that I didn't stop the video. I actually don't think we played this video on the show because the last time I knew it was copyrighted music.
Yeah, it's possible. So Beast King, Chuck, who's not here, he's an editor of this book. He says really good things about this issue. It is funded. It raised $1,000. It's about a guy who's gets mutated and he's trying to get revenge. So it's a cool little book. I mean, look at those action scenes. Those action scenes are really, really cool.
I like the different art style and the take on it, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The art is definitely cool. It's new, it's unique. It's not trying to be anything but its own thing, and I think that's kind of cool when you see an artist just doing their own thing.
Yeah, I like the dirtiness of it.
All right, so this is Biggs and Tiny. This is not your average superheroes. Again, this is new to the program, so I don't know if we're actually going to be able to play it. We'll just mute it because it's just me and you now. So again, this is a video where I'm not getting anything. I don't understand it, I know it's important to show art, but if the art doesn't have purpose, what's the point? It's not like the Avengers movie that comes out tomorrow. We're filming this, and this is new comic book day. So tomorrow, I'm going to stay off social media tonight because people are already trying to spoil the movie. Because I don't know if you heard, they released, since it's been out in China, you can now get a bootleg of the movie.
Yeah, I read that article. It's really sad.
So, yeah, I mean, it won't affect sales because everyone's going to want to go to the movie. This is one of those things where everyone's going to want to go, but that stuff can kill movies, seriously. But, I mean, when you have characters like that, you could get away with this. But, when you don't have established characters, you didn't invite me to anything. I didn't understand any of that.
Right.
I don't know, man. I honestly would skip it. I wouldn't, because it looks anime-ish, and I'm not a huge anime fan. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, from what I think they're trying to get is the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle vibe, these buddy cop, funny superheroes. It's, again, much like you, I didn't pick it up. I mean, I know a lot of our friends really support it. A lot of people in the indie book support it. I think it's already funded. I don't know 100% now, but other than that, I mean, it is what it is,
85 backers. It's close to funding. On the Kickstarter itself, it does explain more, which is cool. We're talking about videos only, but remember, there is more behind it. Ramil Heel is behind it, so he's a great creator right there. He just had a huge success. I just don't know that I really felt like I learned anything about a project. And if I don't understand it, I can't back it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Even looking through it here, although the IT stuff they do, I really like that with the Black Box comics. They have some great titles. So, do you ever back that, knowing that it's coming from a short fuse, or if it's coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. If that definitely helps. The publishers do give you an edge, and it really does. I mean, just looking at my Kickstarter right now, it did give me a slight edge when I was with a bigger company. So, I mean, there is an advantage to that. It's interesting, but I'm not sure.
Well, let's check out this video. It's about broke down things. Let's see what's going on here.
Welcome to the Broke Down and 4 Dead Bodies Issue 2 Kickstarter. I want to catch you up on what's going on. The story so far. Meet Randy and Denver. Randy just got out of prison, and Denver's been working for Mr. Washington for a long time. They've decided to do a job together and deliver a case to Miguel. This case was set up by Mr. Washington, but Miguel had other plans. Through a series of bad circumstances, Miguel hunted Denver and Randy down. Lots of guns, lots of violence, lots of F-words. Gave us a broke down car and 4 very dead bodies. Welcome to the Broke Down and 4 Dead Bodies Kickstarter. This time with 1 extra body. Issue 2 continues right where the last one left off and introduces us into some new groups like the Psycho 78s and their motorcycles gang. Miguel is making new friends with the Spanish gang, and our boys Denver and Randy are still trying to figure out how to get out of the situation.
We have loved meeting fans at comic shops and cons and through emails after our last successful Kickstarter.
I know, I saw it. I saw it the other day.
Now it's time to get back to work and get you guys issue 2. We have tons of rewards scheduled. At the bare basic, you can get broke down 1 and 2 for $5. You get the digital PDF of both. For $10, we'll give you Broke Down for Dead Bodies 2 standard cover. This will include the digital version as well as the Advocator, which has a 4-page broke down story. For $15, not only will we give you the standard cover, we'll also give you cover B, done by the very talented Rich Woodall, as well as all the things we said before. For $50, we have a collector's kit with our artist edition, which is limited to 200 copies. This was a big hit the last campaign. That gets you all the covers as well as a physical version of the Advocator, some exclusive art prints. It's really cool. We also have a $60 version if you want to catch up from last time. For $100, we have something super cool. We have a poly bag. So this is a sealed bag with a sketch cover that we've collected from the con scene. It'll also include 2 random covers. It could be the artist edition, could be the black and white noir editions, which aren't available on the Kickstarter. These are really, really cool and really, really rare. Or be an issue 3. For $250, you could be an issue 3. Join the Sector 7, the Washington Theater, even McKell's Posse. All this as well as the collector's kit. What a great
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my sound right here.
Well, I know you fixed the other problem that you had. You did have an earlier problem with it that you fixed. I guess it was just the same track. Now, the one question I'd ask is that why has it got to be 3 minutes? It's an informative video, but it feels like an infomercial instead of a Kickstarter quick video. Why did you decide to go for the longer? Is it because your fan base, they like the alternate covers and you wanted to make sure they knew about it?
A little bit. So I like to sell and share what it is. I find that a lot of people watch the videos to completion. I get a better conversion rate if I explain some of the pledge levels, is what I found in the last thing. So I explained them again. I probably should have cut it down to just like 2 or 3 PDF, this and that. But I don't know, just trying to fill time. I like to keep it around 3 minutes, and try not to go to 5. Some people go to like 10 these days.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So let me ask you a question. With all this that's in there, you got the alternate covers, you got all that stuff. What do you think the best reward is on that campaign, since you're on the show right now? Talk to me about what is the best value.
So here's what I thought was going to be the best. So I really thought the sketch cover deal was really good. So you get a sketch cover, and then you get the 2 artist editions of the book. So it's that, and then you get 2 other covers. So you're getting 5 books, but one of them is a sketch cover. And as you know, I've got some of the best artists around doing some of these sketch covers. I post some samples, but I've got no backers. So I was really shocked on that. The second one that I really like is a collector's kit. That gets you the artist edition, which is a really, really cool exclusive cover. As you know, at the cons, I sell those for $25 a piece. They're really sought after. People love them. You've been there when people go through to find the best copy of it, right? Where they sit in my table going through all the copies I have to find the best one and the lowest number. So that's the second best one between the 2. And you get a lot of goodies with that. You get some, some prints and some other things.
Now, do you think maybe the sketch covers aren't being done? Because I don't see you advertising it, who did the sketch covers as much. Is it just like you don't have enough room on a Kickstarter? Because you're thorough. I got to give you credit.
Yeah. There's 10 different ones, and so there's 10 different people. So, maybe that's a good idea to kind of do. Because those are 4 of the covers right there. Yeah. They're all very, very different. I try to make sure they're all different art styles, all different art genres. And maybe it shouldn't. It's supposed to be random, but maybe I need to switch it from being random to actually let them pick their sketch cover, on a first come first served basis.
I want to just make it limited to 1. That's it. That reward's limited to 1. Because those covers are freaking badass, man. I've seen. I know there was the one. I don't know if it was this one because it can't blow it up, but they had all the hands and stuff coming out of the back of the trunk and stuff.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the second one right there. That's on the back of that one. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. That was cool. I really dig this one. Like the Reaperish look, or the
that's skeleton. A famous tattoo artist.
Okay. Cool. Those would be like my favorite, but they are. I don't think people realize when you say sketch cover, you're talking like the official art of it.
Yep.
It's
a one-of-a-kind item. So you're getting a one-of-a-kind item, plus you're getting the rarest covers I have, which are the artist edition covers, plus standard covers. You can't run, and then the standard covers are random. So it's either going to be a standard cover or I'm going to throw a couple noirs in there. And as you know, the noirs can only be got at a con. You got to find me at a con to get it.
Yeah, if you have it. I know you're running out, and that's going to be it, you were saying. So.
Yeah. I've got 10 left or something like that.
Yeah, man. And you're like me. You have hidden things in it that you know which one is printed when. So you know what series it's from. So, I mean, this is some exclusive, rare stuff that I hate alternate covers. You know that. I rag on everyone about alternate covers. But you and a few other people make it work and make it exciting. I think the sketch cover is definitely something that people are kind of sleeping on. And I think it's just they don't realize it. Sketch covers have gotten so common now that they don't realize what you're giving them is a pre-done sketch cover. You know, like official art. You can't get this anywhere else. This is a one and done. It's not like fan art that's going to be redone 1,000 times, right?
Exactly. And you know the amount of money. You know, I paid anywhere from $30 to $100 for these sketches from people. These are paid for out of my own pocket, you know, so you're getting a value.
And are they signed too, or do sketch covers?
They're all signed, and as all the ones that had business cards, their business cards are in there too, so you can learn more about that artist.
Now that's a pretty cool thing, and I love the poly bag, and we know a creator kind of took it and made it his own, and it worked for him.
Yeah, the poly bag is good, and maybe we'll find out that this pledge reward right here just works really well when we're at MegaCon, because I'll sell all these. I guarantee you that set will sell at MegaCon, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't do it now, you'll definitely get it. And you'll probably get more money at MegaCon, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think that this is a good thing. I'm shocked that it's not selling, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you know? This is what's great about Kickstarter. You figure out what your audience wants.
Yeah, but then we've talked about this. There's also different wanting online versus in person.
Right.
You know, when you set up the table and you've got your 10 different covers, and the credit to you, a lot of your covers aren't the same. A lot of people make that mistake where they're just making their same look over and over again the same way. It doesn't look like alternate covers. It just looks like different people doing the covers. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, especially when the artist editions, you know, the black and white ones that are done and drawn on that, those are so unique. Nobody's doing that. Nobody but me is doing that.
Yeah,
it's an idea that I came up with, and I'm pretty proud of it because it really highlights that artist, because we have so many good indie artists, and I try to grab people. You don't know this, but I grab people who are on the verge of getting there. So the Frank Uzin guy, he's on the verge. I mean, he's doing his first American con at MegaCon, so he's going to be with us at MegaCon. So you'll be able to get some stuff signed by him and back and forth. You also, the next guy, Jim O'Reilly, he does the Upper Deck cards, but the guy kills it. Everyone's asking him to do stuff. So you've got up and comers there. I mean, and the guy who did the alt cover for this, the main alt cover, the map looking one, that's Rich Woodall. He just came out with a book today on Comic Day called Electric Black. So all these people are super relevant. You just I may be just a little bit further ahead than them.
Now, let me ask you, what is this Gemini thing? I know that Joel's used it. I don't know because you and Joel talk all the time, so I don't know if one of you told about the other. What is it?
So what Gemini is a really good packaging system. So you slip your book in there, and then you wrap it around your books, and it gives it extra protection if for some reason it gets bent up or beat up. It's just a really good way to store your comics. I found I had to replace probably about 6 orders, which isn't bad out of 100 shipped orders last time. But I don't want to do that again. I don't want anybody to get their books and go, hey, these are damaged. I really wanted better books. Because if I got 6, you could assume 1 or 2 got through who didn't get higher quality books like they deserved because of the way I shipped it. So this time around, I really wanted to make sure the books came in the best quality as possible, because I don't want to let any of my fans down. And I think that's the biggest problem with Kickstarter is these people, they get people's money and they don't care about the product that they send to them. And I really care about this product.
Yeah, I mean, and with the post office, I mean, no matter what you do, you lose. I've used media mail. I've used regular mail. Be honest with you, I've lost more stuff in regular mail than in media mail. I don't understand that. Media mail comes with a tracking order, which is kind of cool now. I didn't even realize that till I did it, but you definitely have to do something. And this is what people don't understand about Kickstarter. You have to pay for that type of thing. And that cost has got to be figured in. When someone's charging $10 for a comic book to mail it to you, they have to understand everything that they're helping out with, and I don't think the public understands that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really expensive to do these things, and that's why stretch goals are so important, right? Because that's where we can add the value to earn that $16 worth, right?
Yeah.
So.
And in your math, the one thing I noticed about your math is that your printing cost is what you're asking the most for. I don't see a lot of art costs. You're not really trying to get anyone to buy your book for you.
No, I paid for all my book. I'm going to make that back on the contrail.
Now that is cool. Oh, we apparently we're gone too long from the site. So they can find it by going to, isn't it brokedown.com? Is that
It's brokedowncomics.com.
Comics.com. Is there actually a brokedown.com?
There's a brokedown of 4deadbodies.com. Yep.
All right, so that's super cool. I don't know why we're having loading issues right now.
I think we only have 3 or 4 left, right?
5, I believe.
Okay.
If this ever reloads, we're apparently gone too long, and my site, there we go, and my browser went to sleep on that page. So let's see where we're at. Travis is like, I did mine. I'm ready to go home now and nap. I've been dealing with
I got Mortal Kombat to play.
Did you actually get Mortal Kombat?
I did. I got Mortal Kombat 11.
Must be nice to have time to do that while I'm hard at work at the Advocator too.
Right.
This is Cybergirl Lita, issue number 4. I think this is music, yeah. All right, so this is music. There's not a lot that you actually see about this, unfortunately. I've watched this video. It just shows you, like, random
I've
pictures.
seen that. I don't know what to make of that book.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it a book?
I think so. It's at issue 3 now, and it's $4.99.
Okay.
It's from Ducks Entertainment, but I never really get a lot about it. It's just apparently a sexy robot girl, which they have a whole portfolio for now, which, okay. I mean, I wish I knew more. Jeff seems like a cool dude, though. He's been doing it well, so credit to him. A fight against a tranny. I don't know what to do. That says tranny, right?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. Is it tranny or tyranny? Am I reading it wrong?
Let me check.
The Adventures considered tyranny? Tyranny. So I don't know who tyranny is. I don't know. I wish there was more, and of course you get more at the actual site. But, when you have a Kickstarter video that doesn't give you a lot, and I think that's what people don't realize is that they don't give the audience what they want. They show this imagery, but sometimes imagery can be powerful, don't get me wrong.
Right.
Like, this has got some beautiful art. Like, this would kind of like, okay, maybe I would want to know what's going on just based upon the art, but not every Kickstarter's got that kind of art going for it.
Well, this is the guy I've been trying to get you in contact with. Normally I wouldn't do this right here, but he's out of Tampa. He's going to be near some place that may be an event very soon. He sells really well at that store. I think the art looks really good. I think there's a lot of stuff to it. See, this is more exciting to me than the other one that's kind of historical. Like, it's got these realms, but it kind of feels more like a Final Fantasy game than a kind of cartoony anime.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but sometimes the better art, it matters. It really does.
Yeah.
It brings it home. There's not much to talk about here. It's just a picture. This is from Jen Aldridge. It's brought to us by Matthew Kund. I think, I don't know. I've never had to say his name, so I think it's Kund. Sorry.
I almost submitted to this, and then I changed my mind last minute just because the rules were a little vague on what to do with Shakespeare.
Oh, okay. So this is inspired by Shakespeare.
Yeah. So it's an anthology of works of Shakespeare. Nobody could do more than one of a certain thing. Certain books were kind of off limits too, so they tried to get it not just the Hamlets and the Midsummer's Night Dreams and the Romeo and Juliets, but really the deep cuts of Shakespeare.
Now, one of the things that are interesting, and the only reason I bring it up is because you know a lot about this next Kickstarter, the Why Faith, because you're part of it. We forgot to mention this. You're actually going longer on your Kickstarter, because this one's going to go for 2 months. Yours is going a little over a month for one specific reason. Tell the people why you've gone and extended it.
Yeah, so I went a couple extra days. I'm going to print up some postcards. It's really for MegaCon, where it's going through MegaCon, so it gives people till the day after MegaCon to back issue 2. So if they look at it and they like issue 1, they can back issue 2, at MegaCon. So we're hoping we can get a couple of backers at MegaCon.
And by then, you'll definitely be funded. How close are you right now? Where within?
$300 basically, $315.
Oh, that's not bad. So you'll be there probably by the weekend, and we start talking about those amazing stretch goals.
Yeah. More air fresheners, yo.
Well, let's ask the question: why Faith? I don't know. Oh, you apparently.
What is the purpose of this place, of this creation, of you? My name's Jack Holder, and I'm the editor of Why Faith, a collection of short comics dedicated to answering that very question. Why we have faith, why we don't, what that means for our lives. In this book, you can read stories like finding faith in eating a nectarine, new takes on the creation of the planet, and futuristic and absurdist content. Doctrine that hurts, and heals, and loves. And so many lonely people, reaching out into the dark and asking if anyone is there. These stories are created by some of the most amazing people I've been honored to work with. People like New York Times bestselling author Paul Young and Jody Lynn Nye, Eisner Award winner Trina Robbins, USA Today bestselling author Russell Nolte, and dozens more, all striving to answer this question of why, with love, compassion, and no small amount of humor. I'm here asking you to please check out our book. The project is completed and finalized, but we need your help to make a full print run. Clicking the link below will take you to a 30-page preview with 7 of our stories. Check it out, enjoy, and then please back our project. We have some amazing rewards. The anthology and an adjoining art book, deluxe behind-the-scenes glimpses that you will not see anywhere else, even being written into the next story from Jody Lynn Nye. So many more beyond that. Thank you so much for watching. It is amazing that you are joining us in this journey of faith and discovery. We wish you all the best. Thank you, and happy reading.
All right, so what does with no small amount of humor mean? That kind of tripped me up.
Yeah, there's a lot of humorous tales in it. I think he just wants to make it clear that it's not just an inspiring book. Some of it's funny. There's a little alien who's named God who created the Earth. I think that's kind of funny. There's some cool stuff in there. I think Jack did a really good job of editing it, so nothing is overdone one another.
And now, what's your tale in the book? Tell us something about that.
Okay, so mine is called Barter, and it's about a girl who bought. Sorry, it's getting dark in here, so you can barely see me. About a girl who bought 5 people's soul when she was in school, and the apocalypse is about to start, but not all souls are accounted for. So Archangel Michael and Lucifer come down to try to barter for those souls. And then she makes a very interesting decision to do with those souls about faith. Being a Christian, it is a Christian tale, but it's not like a lovey-dovey tale. It's about someone who questions their faith and how they go through it and how they make decisions for it. It's really well written. I'm really, really proud of it. The art is fantastic.
So would you say it's a story exploring why a person has faith?
Yeah, it's more of my story really explains to when someone chooses faith and not that it's okay to choose faith and not have all the answers. That's kind of what the message of the story is.
Oh, very, very cool. All right. Well, this is the part of the show where we talk about what's next. So let's see the things that are coming up and see. Now, The Advocator 2 is going to be coming out. We just have to get the release date. We're still waiting on print confirmation and shipping, right?
Yeah, we want to make sure at least one person has physically got the book before we announce, second one. I talked to some people today about the anthology. I talked to John Horsley. I talked to a couple other people to get some art. But we're moving forward with some of this stuff. We've got a new team. I even had someone who I've got to talk to you about later who volunteered to be the production manager, like the art director for it. And I think his art style is really cool. So we're going to talk about that. So it's going to be cool. Every book is going to be very different. It's really cool to get this out to people. We're so proud of the first book. We hope you guys come along on the journey because it's about all these people who are doing Kickstarters together in one book, sharing their stuff. And, I don't know if you've spoiled it here before. Have you told them the page increase?
Nope. I publicly have not said it.
Well, let's do it.
Go for it.
We're going to 48 pages the next one. There's so many people who want to be part of this book, so we're upping it to the next level. It's really, really cool.
And 48 pages actually technically takes you to the very beginning of calling it a graphic novel.
Correct, yeah.
So it will go from a comic book to a graphic novel this next go-around. We delayed it, of course, because of some printing issues, and we're not trying to throw any pressure on anyone else's back. That was our fault for not seeing it ahead of time and trusting someone. So we take the blame for that, and that's why we slowed production down. That's why we increased the next book to be a little bigger. And we're already planning issue 3. So issue 2, if everything goes right, will be 100% complete by the end of the Kickstarter. We've already begun to build things. You just got my story the other day, fully colored and humorful and wonderful.
Yeah. We're always a step ahead. Issue 3 is still in early production, but issue 2 has been done for a bit. We've got some surprises. We broke some of the rules that we did in issue 1. It's going to be a great book. We're super excited about it. We're going to do its own thing. I'm proud of it, and I hope you guys really enjoy it too.
All right. Now, remember, $1 can make dreams come true. $1 shows, supports, attracts attention, funds projects, and supports creators who get to create new worlds. And if you want to know how to create your own new world on Kickstarter, find out from Madeline Holly Rising and Christian Shin, now available on Amazon. It's Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, 2nd edition, a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding. Coming soon for the first time ever. You guys are seeing this first time now. This is Aftermath under the Barbara Unleashed banner, and it's got new content. So this story has been the story has been added to 3 whole new pages that explain something you didn't know about Barbara before, but now you're going to get to learn. And for returning fans, I'm going to tell you something that no one knows until now. We're going to put Travis knows this, but no one else does. We're going to put issue 1 and 2 together. It's the first time it'll be in a comic book form, and it'll be perfect for the comic book stores. The reason we're putting 1 and 2 together, not only does it make it 64 pages, but issue 3 itself is 64 pages. We have expanded a 32-page, and Travis saw some of the content in it, and he was actually kind of impressed by it. And usually he says nothing but bad things to me, so I knew I was doing something right. Like when there was a compliment, I think he even thought I was being sarcastic about something that I said. I was like, oh, thanks. And I think he was like, why are you being sarcastic? Like he just wasn't used to me saying thanks to him. He thought it was me being sarcastic. He thought it was me being sarcastic. The scientists, did you see the skull art that I got from Jeff Weber? He's actually a really good artist. I didn't know.
I know. I saw you asking for it, but I didn't see the results.
Yeah, go look. He gave me a skeleton to use. I think I actually sent it to you in the newest thing I did just to show you.
Is that for the book that we talked about the other day?
No. That. Oh yeah. We'll go into that actually. Come to think of it, because it would fit there. Yes, it would go into that one.
Okay.
If I didn't send it to you, I'll send it to you again. I was really proud of how the form came out. It looks legit. Like I don't even believe I created it. Like I look at it and I go, "Who did you steal it from?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? You were there. You know we made it." And then finally, we have this guy, Chuck. He's doing something. He's got this Link guy coming out. Finally, the threats have become a reality.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? We're not giving enough credit to Sean Barber. That guy's a killer in the community. Helps a lot of people out.
Does.
You know, it's really just as much his book as it is Chuck. So I definitely want to share that out.
And I'm looking forward to it, actually. It looks really cool. I actually already want a crossover between Barbara and Link. I don't know why. I just think the two of them would be cute together. And you saw how the Barbara interacted with the Wolfman for my story, so there's definitely something there for the Advocator. And then there's going to be a Monsters and God anthology coming out. I haven't gotten any more information for that, but it will be coming out soon. So that's it. Thank you for being part of it today, Travis.
To talk about, just while we're there, Rumble Kings. Remember that one from last year? That issue 2 launches in March, and that's really cool.
Is it?
So
It's
take a
coming
look
back.
at that. We'll definitely need to add that to this list, but it's like March 6th when it launches. That was another one of my favorites from last year.
You mean May 6th, right?
May 6th, yeah.
Okay. Because I know it might be throwing you off. It said March. Unfortunately, Belial did get delayed. We've been waiting since March for it. He'll be at MegaCon with me, you, and Joel. We have 2 tables, actually. The Advocator team has 2 different tables. We haven't decided if we're going to flip-flop. I'm not moving my stuff. I have far too... Out of all the ones who are showing up, all the books on Chuck tables are basically my books. He's got like 2 books that aren't mine. So I'm not moving all my books. And we're going to hopefully have the Advocator. We're fingers crossed we'll have all the Advocator. And it doesn't make sense for 3 guys who did the Advocator to be on the same table together the whole time trying to sell it. I think one of the rules we'll make is that if it's not your cover, you can't sell it. Luckily, there'll be a couple covers I can sell that aren't mine because I'm the producer and they're all mine. Ha ha! But
I think that's a great rule.
I won't sell Chuck's cover. It'll be, if someone wants, I'll have it at my table just to show it and be like, well, if you want this cover, Chuck's here. And if someone wants the broke down cover made by Martha Schwartz, who colored it, made by me,
Well, I think she's there too, right? She's got her own table there too.
Yeah, but I mean, you'll be able to get her autograph if you buy it from Travis, is what I was trying to allude to. So, and we're talking about doing a scavenger hunt. I actually got to figure that out this weekend. I've been really sick this week. That's why the guys came on to be with me today, to make sure that if I drowned it or had to leave for a couple minutes, cough my head off. I've actually been pretty good this evening. I might actually film my radio program. I sound better than I did this morning, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. MegaCon's going to be a big deal. I don't know what we're giving away. Plus, we're going to try to unveil that crossover me and you talked about. I've been talking to Damien about that. He should be getting that to me. He's just about finished with Hero Wings. Because once we get that, we can print that locally. We can just get that put up as 8x10s, and then that'll be a cool crossover. So we got a lot talking about. And that only starts our year. From MegaCon, we go to... You're not doing SuperCon with me. You're taking off Miami. But you're going to be with me in Tampa. So we'll be together in Tampa again. And what's the other show we're doing? There's one more we're doing this year. That's big. I know it's Space Coast later in the year, but wasn't there one in
doing
between?
Space Coast, and then you just got Tampa, and then
there's one more in there that I can't think
Ancient
of.
City. Is that what we're talking about?
No, Ancient City. I'm going to do a joke because that one's far away. You said you didn't want to travel it.
Okay.
You said that one because you have, of course, having the newborn. We want to keep you as close to home as you can be. Because newborns, you got to be close. It's just, it's the first year is trying.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I'm getting to North Carolina next year. I'm definitely going to travel outside of the area. I want to go to Georgia. I may even go to Dragon this year.
Hey, do you want to tell the world about our next comic initiative? The one that we haven't announced yet to anyone who stayed this long?
I think we should hold that off because I would like to announce the team that's going.
Yeah, when we go off air, I'll tell you real quick about who I know is in and out so far. Sorry, guys. I tried to get Travis to tell you. Travis, those who don't know, the whole indie takeover and what became the comic initiative, a lot of people credit me for doing it. It's not just me. It's been, and I've said this many times, there are 4 ring generals. And for those who don't know the term ring general is the guy who knows how to make the calls in the ring, even when the script has already been made, when changes have to be made. This has been brought together by 4 of us. It's me, Travis, Marcus, and Terrence Baker. The 4 of us have been really driving what's been going on. And that's why when everyone says it's my project, I'm like, you're wrong. It's not. And we're trying to get Brian K. Morris to be activated from up in the Midwest. We're trying to expand this to be something bigger and badder. We did great at the takeover. Unfortunately, Travis wasn't with us, but we want it to be something bigger than just taking over. We want to change the game, and that's what Comics Initiative is all about. For those who don't know, comic stands for now, and this was all under your noses the whole time. Comic now stands for Comics Open Minds and Culture. That's got to blow your mind away that the whole thing has been there the whole time. But that's it for the show. I appreciate everyone tuning in. It's been a long show, actually, 2 hours. How time goes by quickly. I'm going to hang out with Travis for a little bit. The rest of you go about your day, and we'll see you on the other side of Kickstarter successes. So go out there and back some Kickstarters. And
let's do it.
Good night and good evening, and we'll see you back next week for the Indie Crowdfunding Report.